Well, good morning, followers and friends. Happy Monday morning on June 29th at 8 o'clock. Welcome to Have a Seat with Kristin. We do this every Monday morning at 8 o'clock for a few minutes. For those of y'all whom I've not met, that you've stumbled across this video, my name is Kristin Kaufman. I'm what I call a recovering corporate executive. I'm now in the business of helping people build the lives they want without giving up the creature comforts that they want. And yes, that is possible. So every Monday morning, we come on my Alignment Inc. page. I'm all about being aligned. And for folks who are not familiar with what that term means, or specifically how I interpret the word alignment, it's loving what you do, being good at it, but most importantly, having it tied to something much greater than yourself. And that's not always easy. So a lot of these videos and exchanges that we have every Monday morning are all about tapping into that concept of alignment and finding out what it is you really want to do, how you want to contribute, and how you can be the best that you can be. So this morning, I'm actually going to do a little twist on leadership. For those of y'all who are still in corporate America, or entrepreneurs, small business owners, or even homemakers, mothers, fathers, leadership is a quality that all of us need to embrace. It's not just for people who are leading large business units or large companies, or even a small entrepreneurial business. Leadership, as Jeff Immelt of General Electric would say, leadership begins with a constituency of one. In other words, we are the CEOs of our lives, and we are the ones who lead ourselves and our families, and we are actually the example of those people that are in our lives. And as I've said on numerous recordings prior to this, we are a combination of the 5 people with whom we spend the most time with. So we have a sacred responsibility to choose wisely and to surround ourselves with people who will help us be the best that they can be. So let me just dive right into it. And again, for those of y'all who are just joining, good morning. My name is Kristin Kaufman, and today we're going to talk about the 6 tips that I have for becoming and remaining a good leader. And there's always the question, are leaders born, or are leaders able to be trained? And I believe both. I definitely think that there are people who are born innately with innate leadership qualities, and that's just fostered by the family environment or the home environment that they're reared in. But then I also believe that there are people that absolutely can be trained and can learn the skills that can help them become a very effective leader. So the first tip that I really want to share, and I think this is so relevant today, particularly with the COVID-19 situation that we're in, is number 1, lead by example. We need to be able to show people, not just tell people, how to make the most of whatever it is that we're embarking upon. So let's just take COVID-19, for example. COVID-19, so many people love to tell us to wear masks, but very few people, frankly, in my world in Dallas, Texas, are indeed wearing masks, which is why we've seen this huge hockey stick spike of infections and people being hospitalized with COVID-19. So the first tip is to lead by example and to truly never ask anyone to do something that you are not willing to do yourself. And I remember 1,000 years ago when I was at Hewlett Packard Company, and then at 2 other companies after that, one of my biggest, efforts and really focus areas was I never wanted people to think that I wanted them to work harder than I was willing to work myself. So, and I think that if you were to poll the people that worked with me, especially later in my leadership responsibilities, they would echo that. I certainly was not the best leader when I first came out of the gate. I was still in that individual contributor mindset, which is definitely a different mindset than being a leader of people. Being a leader of people means you put yourself, frankly, last, and you put everyone else first, because you believe in your heart of hearts, if you help those people be successful, you will be successful just by the nature of helping others lift their game. As they say, rising tide lifts all boats. So that's the first little tip. None of this is going to be new to you, but I'm hoping it will give us a little bit of a refresher and will help us apply it to our lives, whether we're in corporate America, small business, or if we're just at home leading our family and teaching our children via virtual learning. So lead by example is number 1. Number 2, and boy, is this one a big one, and boy, could we all take a lesson here. A little bit of humility goes a long way. A little bit of humility goes a long way. Very few of us are going to want to travel or follow a leader who is self-braggadocious, full of himself or herself, and thinks that their ambition has run amok. I'm working right now with several people that their ambition is just unharnessed, and they are working really hard and they're doing so many great things, but yet their ambition has clouded their judgment on how to represent themselves to others. And I'm just a big believer in edifying others, pulling other people up, giving people the opportunity to shine, sharing the wealth, sharing the credit, sharing openly what you're learning from other people. Because I can promise you right now, and I've said this in every book that I've ever written, my life would not be my life had it not been for so many thousands, hundreds of thousands of people who had crossed my path and have taught me something, both positively and constructively. Not just my parents, although they were the gold standard as far as parents go, not just my sister, who's pretty fabulous too, but all the other people that have crossed my path in my corporate jobs, in my entrepreneurial jobs, in my volunteer and charity work. We learn from other people, and being humble enough to realize that you do in fact learn from everyone, and edifying those people, pushing those people up and learning from them. That's number two, because I really think that when we're humble, people want to help us. They want to promote us, and it works. It's a bi-directional phenomenon. Okay. Number three, communicate effectively. And boy, howdy again, boy, can we learn from that. I mean, just look at our world today. There is so much false information being shared. There's a lot of great information being shared. We're not really sure what to believe. We're not really sure what to embrace. But I do know, as leaders and as human beings, we need to learn how to communicate openly, effectively, clearly, and transparently. And let me just give you an example. You know, a lot of times I think people think sharing with just you what they think that you need to know is the need to know is enough. And I think in some cases that may be in fact true. But I really love to embrace that platinum rule, which is do unto others as you would have them to you, do unto others as you would have them do unto you if you were in their shoes. And that means telling people anything that you think would be of benefit to them, or that you think if you were in their shoes, you would like to know. There's nothing more disheartening or hurtful than to have information come through the back channels that perhaps you could have known or should have known long before it ever was exposed. You know, having things show up on a broadcast email, or having things show up on a Facebook group page, or finding out through good Lord knows who else, you know, something that really you as the leader, or you as a team member, or you as a friend or a follower would have loved to have known and perhaps even been engaged in before it was released, is so vital. And I think holding back that information for fear of you know, I don't know what the insecurity might be, but whatever it is, that is betrayal by omission, not by commission. So it's betrayal by not sharing openly, honestly, candidly, and transparently. We owe that to our fellow followers, we owe that to our team members, and we owe that to our friends and followers. So that's point number three: communicate effectively, openly, honestly, early, transparently, and often. The fourth tip: know your limits. Know your limits. And this is not always easy, but I will tell you, you know, some of my most fulfilling experiences in life have been when I've delegated things that were just not within my purview or my wheelhouse. And a lot of times that means relinquishing control. That means empowering people to take the reins from something that you really wanted to hold on your own. But knowing your limits and knowing really what you're good at and what you're not good at, that does nothing but foster teamwork, because you're empowering people to do what it is that they're good at. And you're also admitting openly that not everyone is going to be good at everything. In fact, no one is. I can't tell you how many things I'm terrible at. I mean, I'm not very great with technology, although I'm coming forward with it, but that's not my wheelhouse. It's not my area of strength. But what is my area of strength is looking into people's lives and helping them create what they want. And if I need to have people help me do this in the new digital era, where I can really learn how to communicate and build courses and build videos and build Facebook Lives and a following in this way, I am all for that. And I'm willing to pay for that, because I know that my voice needs to be heard. And maybe I just don't know the best way to make it heard in today's world of the digital commerce and the way in which we're communicating. So know your limits, delegate, Bring in people who can help you. Know that by giving away power, you are actually taking back power. So be open with that and know that that is indeed going to help you get to wherever you want to be. And it's establishing you as a leader in your area of expertise. Okay, number 5. Find a mentor or find many mentors. And I've done 1,000,001 keynote speeches on this, but this is not just moving up the ladder. I mean, I have a couple of people in my life right now that think that by going high in an organization is really where it needs to be. And that is just folly. That is not necessarily where it needs to be. Some of the best mentors can be people, on our sidelines. They can be people that are under us, if you will, in an organization, because your mentors need to basically teach you and expose you to things that perhaps you don't see, your blind spots, help you navigate areas that perhaps you're not seasoned in. And that absolutely can be people that are not necessarily above you, if you will, in a hierarchical perspective. So for me, I've got probably, 10 or 15 mentors right now. Some of them are in one of my businesses, and yes, they are, people who have proven that it can be a success. Others are sidelines because they have expertise in areas that I don't. Others are peers in my business that are really helping me navigate because they can see what I offer in a perspective that I don't see. So they're helping me to shine a light on that. So don't think myopically that having a mentor is someone that has gone ahead of you and that can help promote you. That is simply obsolete thinking. Mentors come in every shape, form, and fashion. We need to surround ourselves with lots of people that have lots of different areas of expertise that perhaps we don't, and that can help us grow in that area. And then the last and the 6th tip, again, none of these are things that you probably don't already know, but I'm just hoping, given where we are in our world, that it will give us a refresher, and perhaps you can apply these tips in the world in which we're living now in COVID-19, working from home and trying to lead people in a way that is not necessarily natural. So that last tip is to be emotionally aware. We hear EQ bounced around a lot, and we hear IQ bounced around a lot. EQ is simply the ability to try to put ourselves in other people's moccasins, to be emotionally aware, be intuitive, hear what is being spoken when it hasn't been spoken. And that takes a lot of quiet introspection for ourselves. It takes the ability to listen, truly listen to what is being said or not said, and then to align ourselves with what it is that they're saying or not saying. Because when we're emotionally aware and we align ourselves with where people are, we will by default lead them by our actions because we are aligned with where they are and potentially where they want to go. So I can give you a couple of examples. I have a couple of people on one of my business teams. They are definitely needing and wanting to add an income stream to their full-time job. And they're juggling so much because all of us are working from home. Some of them have 2.5 children at home that they were trying to virtual teach while they were running their real job. And yet they also knew that they needed to augment that revenue and stabilize that income stream by creating something else. Now, it would be very short-sighted and perhaps even naive of me to think that they're going to be able to spend 12 hours a day doing that second income stream. But what I can align myself to and become emotionally aware to is that they definitely have a desire. They're just trying to figure out how to make it happen and what is the best way to use their time. So what I've tried to do is to align with that. We schedule time after hours. We do things, at lunch hour. I'm certainly available on the weekends. So we're trying to align our schedules to align with when they're available and to become emotionally available and aware of where they are. Because let me tell you, there isn't a single person on this planet today that is not concerned about something. We are concerned about our health, our financial well-being, whether or not we're going to be in business this time next year, whether or not we're going to be healthy at the end of 2020, whether or not our economy will come back. There are lots of ambiguous questions that are out there. But all we can control, as y'all have heard me say before, are our ABCs, our attitudes, our behaviors, and our choices. So this is all about making a choice, about being emotionally aware with the people that we're interacting with, whether it be our family, our neighbors, our team members, our charitable organizations, because I personally think that when we connect with people and we meet them where they are going to be much more inclined to want to follow us and to want to listen to what we have to say. And by virtue, then we will all rise together. So again, my name is Kristin Kaufman. I'm here to hopefully shed some light on some things that I've picked up over my life that will hopefully help us become the best that we can be. I'm all about helping people build the lives they want without giving up the creature comforts that they want. And yes, even in today's environment, that is possible. So I've just explained the 6 basic tips, I think, of being a good leader, especially when you're doing it from the confines of your own home. I hope that it has been a benefit to you. If this has been a benefit to you, here are a couple of options. You can follow me on YouTube. You can find me at Kristin Kaufman on YouTube. You can follow me there. You can also comment below, and I will put you on my blog distribution if you are interested in getting my blogs, which I send out once a month, which are all around the concept of alignment and how to build the lives that we want. They're not just business oriented, they are truly life oriented, although there's a very heavy concentration on business because that's where I come from. So with that, make it a fabulous Monday. Stay safe, wear your mask, wash your hands, and we will get through this, and we will actually come through it, I think, better than when we entered. Make it a great day.